All right, straight to the top story that we are tracking on the broadcast at 9 p.m. tonight. Amid the spike in COVID cases and the growing positivity rate, Health Ministry today has written to Maharashtra and 4 southern states in the country that include Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Telangana and Karnataka. The ministry has asked the states to take prompt action and also ensure an effective management to contain the COVID-19 infection. Union Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan highlighted that a few states were reporting a higher contribution to India's caseload, indicating the possibility of a localized spread of the infection. Remember, Maharashtra today recorded over 1,100 cases, 1,134 to be precise, and 3 deaths today, while Delhi has reported 345 new COVID-19 cases.
When you talk about intensity, there are 2 ways of judging that. One is the clinical presentation. So as I said, clinically, thankfully, there seem to be only mild cases, which is a good thing. The second way of doing it is to look at genome sequencing. So we have been doing genome sequencing. Maharashtra government has been quite proactive. And what we have found is it's Omicron variant, BA1 or BA2. And in the last few weeks, we've found a few BA4 as well, and BA4, BA5 as well. But none of them have actually shown aggressive or a deadlier form. Now, what needs to be done going forward is we need to continue this genome sequencing, and we need to keep a watch whether we are actually developing a new variant, which probably is as transmissible as Omicron, but is also causing a disease which is more severe than Omicron. Then that's a worry. Right now, that doesn't seem to be the case. So right now, the cases are mild, and we are hoping that they will remain mild.
That was a COVID task force member that was actually taking a stock of the situation and telling us about how these new COVID cases are pertaining to the Omicron subvariant. And this is why we are seeing a spate and a rise in the number of COVID cases. We're getting you, Sandeep, my colleague, who's actually got us that interview. Sandeep, let's take a look at what is happening in Mumbai, because right now Mumbai seems to be heading the COVID tally with over 1,100 new COVID cases. And of course, there has been a security, in fact, a surprise meet when it comes to looking at the COVID preparedness by the Chief Minister himself, Uddhav Thackeray himself. What has come out of the meeting, to any curbs that would be put in place, and also the fact that there has to be ample weightage that needs to be given to genome sequencing. That was also highlighted in that interview that you've got for us. What is being done on that account?
So as far as the meeting is concerned, yes, the meeting was held yesterday with Maharashtra Chief Minister and all the COVID task force members themselves, and suggestions were given by the task force member, as we spoke to Dr. Rahul Pandit, who said that the cases that are being reported are not so serious, and they have very mild symptoms and either no symptoms or low symptoms. In fact, when we talk about Omicron cases as well, Omicron cases have also surfaced, and genome sequencing process is also in place. But so far, there is no, a serious indication of COVID-19, or it is not as intensive as compared to last 3 waves that have passed in the state of Maharashtra. Now, we also spoke to BMP Commissioner. In fact, there was a meeting held today with all the health officials and medical bodies in the city of Mumbai. Remember, Mumbai have consecutively reported more than 700 cases in last 3 days. So a meeting was held. When we spoke to the BMC Commissioner, he said that we are all prepared and all geared up in regards of beds. As of now, 69 is the occupancy of the beds, and they have 10,000 beds available. There is no new admission in the hospital. So, that's what it is. But yes, all the health experts have said that we have to be prepared before monsoon, because COVID may come in a different variant, and we cannot, lose on that. And in fact, they have also said that we do not need to worry, but we need to take utmost care, wherein it comes to wearing mask and all. But so far there is no restrictions imposed or no, a mask mandate decision has been taken by the state or from the BM.
All right, Sandeep, thank you so much for actually letting us know what is the situation like, not just in Mumbai, but also the entire state of Maharashtra, and also what is the government in the state really doing about this concerning rise of cases. Whether we can call it concerning or not is only something that time is going to tell. However, the onus lies on the people, because if we do not bring the mask back into our daily life, considering we go ahead and go into crowded places, which is what the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Uddhav Thackeray, had also advocated and spoken about. And he'd said that people should actually get the masks back. Don't drop your mask, as we continue to say on Mirror Now also, so that at least you and your families can keep safe and this entire spiraling out of cases doesn't really happen when it comes to not just the state of Maharashtra but other places as well. We were talking about the other three states, the southern states, in fact, the other four southern states where this letter also has been sent by the Health Ministry. Let's get in a word now from Tamil Nadu. I have my colleague Sri Prapanch, who's joining me live from Chennai. Sri Prapanch, this is also coming in the backdrop of a very, very controversial quote that was made by the Health Minister in the state, where he blamed the North Indian students, in fact, for the growing number of COVID cases, especially in the educational institutes in Tamil Nadu, in Chennai. So, in the backdrop of that, there has to be some serious talk that needs to be done, because there is a rise, and now there is a letter that's also been sent by the Health Ministry to the Tamil Nadu state. What is the state really doing so that there can be an immediate curb on the growing number of COVID cases?
As of today, as per the health department release, the total number of COVID cases in Tamil Nadu are 756 cases, and today in last 24 hours, 113 cases have been registered. Now we need to understand that Central Health Minister sent a letter to Health Secretary of the state, Radhakrishnan, wherein he has said that the weekly cases rise is seen between, last week it was 335 cases, and this week nearly 659 cases as per the evening's records, which is somewhere around, Tamil Nadu is contributing to about 3.13% of total cases registered in India. Now, also the state positivity, you need to understand that positivity rate has grown from 0.4% last week to 0.8% this week. The positivity has increased. Now we need to understand there are two districts in Tamil Nadu which are registering highest number of cases, which are Chennai and Chengalpattu. These are the two districts where predominantly higher number of education institutes are there. And as per the health minister's, in fact, recent press meet, wherein he says that there are several states where the number of COVID cases are high, which he says that, in fact, Haryana, Delhi, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh and several other states, including Kerala, wherein he says that several students are coming from other states to Tamil Nadu for education purpose, and due to interaction, there are rise in COVID clusters. There are clusters of COVID emerging in various education institutions, and in fact, the health secretary also had stated that several, in fact, the students were tested through RT-PCR tests, which is very mandatory. Nearly 5,602 students have been tested for COVID-19 through RT-PCR tests. So this was the kind of comment that was given. And in fact, the Health Ministry, Union Health Ministry also has asked the state government to ensure the multifold measure, which was testing, tracking, treating, and vaccinating the people of Tamil Nadu. So the government has already asked, the central government has asked the state government to strengthen the already existing measures which were followed during the peak times in the COVID-19. Now we can see that the same kinds of measures, the safety protocol measures are being worked in terms of asking the public to wear masks in public spaces, and in fact also asking the people to vaccinate, take vaccines, track people, those who are contacts, they can in fact track and trace people, so that now we can see that there are only COVID clusters which are emerging in the educational institution, as per the recent, in fact, press meet of the healthcare minister, health welfare minister. No, so for that we can see that the government is taking enough steps to, in fact, stop the spread of COVID-19.
All right, Shri Papanch, thank you so much for joining us with all those details. There, an important update that we have brought for our viewers from the state of Tamil Nadu. Let's also take a look at what is happening in Karnataka, because there too, this particular letter has been sent. There has been a rise in the number of COVID cases. Let me quickly get my reporter on ground to get a sense of what is the government in the state really planning on doing when it comes to curbing of COVID cases. All right, I'm told that my colleague Toya Jakshi is now joining me live from Bengaluru. Toya, I'll ask you the same question. What are the immediate steps that are now being taken by the government in the state now that there is a letter that has also been received by the Ministry of Health regarding curbing of the COVID cases that are only continuing growing now?
Yeah, well, right now BBMP is also taking a lot of precautions, and they're also arranging a lot of beds in the hospitals for COVID cases, and they've taken a lot of precautions for the upcoming COVID, the fourth wave of COVID. And also now that the boosters have already been started, and they start giving boosters for 65 plus and also 18 plus, and BBMP is taking a lot of precautions on this. Yeah.
All right, Toya, thank you so much for joining me with all those details. Meanwhile, getting our viewers some more important breaking news on the broadcast pertaining to COVID-19 cases, especially in the state of Maharashtra. Let's take a look at that. All right, Mirror now has spoken to BMC Commissioner Dr. Iqbal Singh Chahal, and he in fact has instructed the health system, and he's in fact said that a review meeting was held on the background of the increasing number of COVID cases, and he's also mentioned that testing to detect COVID-19 must be increased immediately. In fact, collective tests will be conducted in areas where more COVID-19 patients are found, and also instructions are given to equip jumbo COVID centers in private hospitals and all the ward war rooms, so that the infrastructure which is pertaining to the containment of COVID and to deal with COVID is in place. Instructions to prevent monsoon-related diseases have also been given. All these updates we are bringing to you exclusively on Mirror Now, as Mirror Now spoke to BMC Commissioner Dr. Iqbal Singh Chahal, and this is what he has spoken as regards the COVID preparedness in the state of Maharashtra and Mumbai specifically. All right, shifting focus now to the next big story, story number 2 on the broadcast. Union Home Minister Amit Shah today held a meeting with National Security Advisor Ajit Doval to discuss the security situation in Jammu and Kashmir, which was witnessed a spate of targeted killings since May 1st. Remember, 9 deaths so far in a month's time. That is what the valley has seen. The security review meeting was also attended by the Lieutenant Governor of the Union Territory, Manoj Sinha, and also the Army Chief, Manoj Pandey. The meeting came after terrorists carried out a series of targeted killings in Kashmir Valley that include non-Muslims, security personnel, and an artist also, and also local civilians. Now remember, 2 people, a bank employee and a brick kiln laborer, were killed in Kashmir on Thursday, while another laborer was injured in 2 separate incidents. The high-level meeting, chaired by Amit Shah, was the second such exercise in less than a fortnight. This is an important high-level meeting that was chaired by Home Minister Amit Shah. Remember, even the opposition has upped its ante against the government, and obviously they are talking about the targeted civilian killings. Remember, we are talking about 9 in a month's time. It has been continuing. In fact, only yesterday, Thursday, there have been 2 killings back to back, one during the day and one while we were calling it a night. Around 9:30 is when another attack happened, where a brick kiln laborer had to lose his life because of the terrorist bullets. So amid all this, there was a lot of protests and clamor in the valley, where the Kashmiri Pandits and the minorities, the migrant workers, were all threatening to migrate from Jammu and Kashmir. There is intense fear regard their security, and this is why they had about 2 to 3 meetings with the Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha amid the concerns of their safety and security. And they, in fact, wanted a relocation to a safer place, and specifically to Jammu. And this is what their demand is. And they'd also given a 24-hour ultimatum, which of course progressed to 2 to 3 days. It was only yesterday, after there was a killing of a bank employee during the day, is when the minorities in the valley threatened that they are going to begin mass migrating from Kashmir starting this morning. So, however, even as this high-level meet has been chaired, sources in fact have told us that the government is currently not considering transferring government employees from the valley to Jammu, even as these killings continue. The rise in civilian killings has forced some Kashmiri Pandits and migrant families to flee the valley. Kashmiri Pandits have also written to the Chief Justice of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh seeking urgent intervention in the matter. They have been demanding a safe haven for their families.
सर, डर का माहौल तो ऐसा है कि आप अपने घर से भी बाहर नहीं निकल सकते। वो जैसे जू में आप जानवरों को बंद करके रखते हैं ना, वैसी हालत हो गई हमारी। सरकार ने भी हमारे साथ वैसा ही किया है
कि गवर्नमेंट को भी कुछ देखना चाहिए कि अभी वहाँ जो हिंदू वहाँ पे अभी नहीं रह सकता। जो भी वहाँ पे जो हालात है, जो ग्राउंड रियलिटी है, वो हिंदुओं के रहने लायक नहीं है।
सर, हम तो रेंटेड अकोमोडेशन में हैं, तो प्रॉब्लम तो है ही है। आपको पता नहीं आपको कब टारगेट करेंगे, कब आप पे हमला होगा। पब्लिक लिस्ट पब्लिश होती है, आपको पता ही नहीं है कब आपका नंबर लग जाएगा। आप घर निकलोगे सब्जी लेने, तो आपको जाना ही है। आप कह नहीं सकते हो कि आप घर आप वापस आओगे कि नहीं।
My colleague Pradeep Datta now joins me live on the broadcast. Pradeep, you've got us those voices from the valley. In fact, the fear and the concern about their security is only palpable. The demand remains unanimous that they want a relocation to a safer place. However, from whatever we are picking up from the sources, an immediate relocation, especially for the government employees, is not in the offing.
Yes, you're absolutely right, because today that in Delhi, in that meeting, Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha, Director General of Police, Army Chief, and Ajit Doval, NSA was also present. Everybody was expecting maybe the decision will be taken regarding transfer or relocation of the Kashmiri Hindu employees who are putting up in Valley. Ever since there had been surge in the targeted killing, there is a lot of fear among them, and they want to shift themselves from Kashmir Valley because they feel it is not safe for them to reside there. There had been, and the reason is obvious, reason being that first it was Rahul Bhatt who was killed inside the SEAL office in Chadura, then it was Rajni Bala again killed inside the school campus while she was teaching students, and for point blank range she was killed by terrorists. Then we saw that how the bank manager was killed inside Dehati Bank in Kulgam area. Then two of those laborers, again Hindus, they were targeted by terrorists. One of them has come to his injuries, other is battling for life. In such a situation, they say it is not really safe for them because once again targeted killing has started and terrorists have made it clear that they would not allow the Hindus to stay there. But government point of view is that if the Kashmiri Hindus will move, it will be a big setback for their policy of return and rehabilitation of Kashmiri Hindus because after a lot of efforts, they have ensured their integration in Kashmir Valley. So once they start leaving, it will be victory of anti-national forces. That's one of the reasons that government is not in favor of relocation or transfer of employees. But so far as employees are concerned, unanimously, they are asking for only one thing. They said that this is the only best thing for them because they are not really sure about the assurances being given by the government. They said on several occasions, Lieutenant Governor had given them assurances, but what happened? After 3 or 4 days, another person was targeted and killed. In such a situation, they can't risk their lives because they feel jaan hai to jahan hai. So work they can do afterwards also. But first thing is to save lives. 32 years back also, parents abandoned their hearths and home because they wanted safety of their family members. That was the reason. So they say that we now understand what actually they had gone through, because they are also going through a similar kind of a hell right now. So they are right now knocking at the doors of the government, and they're expecting that maybe some decision is taken in this regard. But so far, the government is not in a mood for relocation or transfer. But yes, government has made it clear that they will be providing enough security. They are going to increase the intelligence network so that they can deal with all those hybrid terrorists and crush their head, so that they are not able to carry out those targeted killings. Besides this, 350 companies of the paramilitary forces will be sent to Valley. Already 150 of them have reached. 200 will be reaching soon, so that they can plug all entry and exit points, and they provide proper security to Kashmiri Pandits, and also to ensure safe and secure forthcoming Amarnath pilgrimage. Because what exactly the terrorists are trying to do? They are trying to wipe out footprints of Hindus and Hindustanis. That's why they are trying to generate fear. They did it 32 years back. They're repeating the same chapter of genocide and ethnic cleansing right now also. I think that's what the government is trying to assure people not to panic. They are there to take care of them.
Absolutely, Pradeep. Very rightly said, fear is only palpable. However, the sad reality is that people are milking it for their own political gains, and politics continues to escalate over the rise in these targeted civilian killings in the valley. Let's take a look at these reactions that continue to pour in. We have got the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, who's called for the rehabilitation of Kashmiri Pandits at their native place. Even the Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel has questioned the government on failing to provide security to the Kashmiri Pandits. However, there's a rebuttal from the BJP, as former Union Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad has called the killings Pakistan-sponsored.
कश्मीर के अंदर इस वक्त जो स्थिति बनी हुई है उसको लेके पूरा देश चिंतित है, बहुत ज़्यादा चिंतित है, क्योंकि एक पलायन 1990 के आसपास हुआ था और ये दूसरी बार पलायन हो रहा है। और ये जितने भी अपने कश्मीर के भाई बहन हैं ये वापस अपने घर जाना चाहते हैं। कुछ लोग गए थे, वापस अपने घरों में गए थे, लेकिन जिस तरह से वहाँ पे आतंकवादियों द्वारा टारगेट कर करके उनको मारा जा रहा है, ये बेहद चिंता का विषय है। और इस पे मेरी केंद्र सरकार से यही अपील है कि उनकी सुरक्षा के लिए जो भी यत्न करने की ज़रूरत है, जितना भी खर्चा आने की ज़रूरत है, वो करना चाहिए।
पूर्व में भी एक आध घटना वहाँ हुई थी, मुझे मालूम है नीतीश जी की सरकार ने बहुत काम किया था, गोलगप्पा वाले की डेथ हुई थी श्रीनगर में, और अभी भी कर रहे हैं। और वहाँ पर हम इतना ही कहेंगे कि 370 हटने के बाद ये पाकिस्तान प्रायोजित हताशा भरी कार्रवाई है, और जो करते हैं उनकी जिंदगी 2-3 दिनों की, आप भी जानते हैं।
370 का ढिंढोरा खूब पीट रहे थे, 370 भी हट गया। जम्मू कश्मीर को 3 टुकड़े में बांट डाले, चुनी हुई सरकार को हटा के राष्ट्रपति शासन लगाया और वहाँ राज्यपाल बैठे हुए हैं। आज कश्मीरी पंडित मारे जा रहे हैं, हिंदू मारे जा रहे हैं, तो इसके लिए जिम्मेदार फिर कौन है? इसकी जिम्मेदारी कौन लेगा? कल जम्मू में सारे जो हिंदू कर्मचारी है, अधिकारी हैं, उसने रैली निकाली। अब हम वहाँ जाना नहीं चाहते। इसके बारे में सरकार क्या बोल रही है? भारत सरकार को बोलना चाहिए, वहाँ के राज्यपाल को बोलना चाहिए, आखिर सुरक्षा क्यों नहीं दे पा रहे हैं? अपने अधिकारी कर्मचारी को सुरक्षा नहीं दे रहे हैं तो आम जनता कैसे देंगे?
All right, cutting out of the top 10 to get you some breaking news now. Kader Khan, the son of TRS leader and Waqf board chairperson, has been arrested by Hyderabad police in the minor gang rape case. Remember, this was a shocking incident of a 17-year-old girl who was gang raped by a group of boys, minor boys, in an upscale area in Hyderabad, and all that happened inside a Mercedes car, allegedly. The minor girl was gang raped by the minor boys, and in fact, that car belonged to an AIMIM MLA's son. And now Kader Khan, who is the son of TRS leader and the Waqf board chairperson, has been arrested in this particular rape case. That is the latest that we are breaking for our viewers. An important news. Remember, this rape case was something something that once again dominated headlines. And of course, this is a minor rape case and an act allegedly perpetrated by boys also who were minors. And now there has been an arrest in this particular case. Kader Khan, and he in fact is the son of the TRS leader and Waqf board chairperson. He has been arrested in the rape of the 17-year-old girl who was gang raped in Hyderabad. With that, I'm slipping into a very short break right here on Nation Tonight. More news and updates continue on the broadcast. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching Nation Tonight with me, Griha. On to story number 3 now. Days after Punjab government withdrew the security of Akal Takht Jathedar Harpreet Singh, the Ministry of Home Affairs gave Z-cover security to the Akal Takht chief today. However, Jathedar Harpreet Singh has refused the Z+ security given to him by the centre. Let me tell you that the High Priest was among the 424 VIPs in the state whose security was withdrawn. Earlier, the Jathedar had said that he didn't need Aam Aadmi Party government security anyway, as he could defend himself. However, this move by the centre, in fact, amid the rising concerns over law and order, definitely had put that entire discourse of Aam Aadmi Party versus centre back. And they were once again at loggerheads. However, the latest is that now Jathedar Harpreet Singh has also denied centre security cover to Harpreet Singh. That also stands denied by him.
Well, yes, this is the latest development which we have seen. Jathedar, Akal Takht Jathedar Sahib, he has already refused the Z+ security which was given by the central government, citing a very, very genuine reason, saying that he wanted to meet own people and he does not want to give any type of such message to the masses, that he is trying to create awareness among the Sikhs on various issues. At the same time, he has welcomed the move and also thanked the central government for considering and providing him Z+ security. But in nutshell, he has refused to take this security at all. But it's a big jolt to Aam Aadmi Party. We have seen yesterday that security, after High Court intervention, the security has been decided to give back to Jathedar on 7th of June, and they had given a very, very valid reason, saying that on Blue Star anniversary, they have decided to withdraw all these forces for the temporary basis. But now, Jathedar has first refused that Punjab government security. Yesterday he has made it very clear he does not require any security at all. But today, when the central government has issued and allotted Z+ security, I know a few minutes back, Akal Takht Jathedar Sahib, he has made it very clear that he does not need any security at all, because he wanted to spread a message among the masses, and if he will be able to reach the Sikh people, and then he will be able to serve his purpose. So that's why he has refused to even take Z+ security which was allotted by the central government.
Right, Gurpreet. In fact, let's quickly listen into that reaction that has come in of the Akal Takht chief on the broadcast. Let's quickly take a look at what he has to say.
पर मैं उन्होंने ये कहना चाहूँगा कि ये जेड सिक्योरिटी जिहड़ी आप जी ने प्रोवाइड कराई है, इहदे तहत मेरे वल्लों कीते जा रहे प्रचार प्रसार के खेतर दे विच कुछ दिक्कतां जिहड़ियां आउणियां सुभाविक है। इसलिए मैं भारत सरकार को कहना चाहुंदा कि ये जिहड़ा जेड सिक्योरिटी का जिहड़ा फैसला है, इहनूं मुलतवी कीता जाए।
In fact, Times Network has also accessed the new CCTV footage in which the shooters of Sidhu Moosewala can be seen escaping after killing the singer. Earlier in the day, a CCTV footage was also there where the Bolero in which Moosewala's attackers had come in was spotted in Haryana's Fatehabad. The vehicle was seen heading to Punjab 4 days ago 2 people have been detained from Fatehabad in this particular incident. All right, let's shift focus now and go on to story number 4. And according to Delhi police sources, in fact, before we do that, we also have a quick update that's coming in on this particular story as well. And this is to do with Lawrence Bishnoi. And he has washed his hands on Moosewala. He says he has nothing to do with Moosewala murder. Now, according to Delhi police sources, after questioning the jail gangster, Lawrence Bishnoi, a Delhi police team has also reached Nepal to investigate the matter further. The police suspect that a number of Moosewala shooters have fled to Nepal, and the shooters have also now been identified. Sources also suggest that Punjab police are camping in Rajasthan and are raiding Bishnoi's aides in the state. Now, during the interrogation is when gangster Bishnoi had said that he wasn't involved in Sidhu Moosewala's murder. All right, it's now time for story number 4. And days after Aam Aadmi Party took on the new appointed Delhi Lieutenant Governor Vinay Kumar Saxena over the issue of Delhi Jal Board, today the party chief and state chief minister Arvind Kejriwal met with the Lieutenant Governor in the national capital. And it is said that the two leaders discussed water and various other issues in the national capital. Remember, previous Lieutenant Governor Anil Baijal and the Kejriwal government didn't see eye to eye and did not have a smooth relationship. And only time will tell as to how the new LG of the national capital and the Kejriwal government can function in tandem.
हर शुक्रवार को इसी वक्त 4 साढ़े 4 बजे के करीब हम दोनों मिला करेंगे और दिल्ली की जितनी भी समस्याएं हैं सारी समस्याओं पे मिलके विचार विमर्श किया करेंगे। तो आज भी रेंज ऑफ इश्यूज़ के ऊपर दिल्ली के जितने भी संबंधित हैं, पानी से रिलेटेड और भी साफ़ सफाई से रिलेटेड कई सारे मुद्दों के ऊपर बातचीत हुई है और बहुत अच्छी बातचीत हुई है। और मुझे पूरी उम्मीद है कि आने वाले समय के अंदर हम लोग सब मिलके और दिल्ली को आगे ले जाएंगे। कोऑर्डिनेशन बन रहा है, बहुत अच्छा कोऑर्डिनेशन है, किसी तरह की कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं।
My colleague Niyamika now joins me live on the broadcast. Niyamika, what really happened in this meeting between the Delhi Chief Minister and the Lieutenant Governor today?
Well, as the Chief Minister of Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal, has said in his bite that a range of issues have been discussed in today's meeting with the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, as it includes the issue related to water and cleanliness as well. And he has said that these meetings will continue every week on Friday around at 4 to 4:30 p.m. But this meeting can be called crucial because this comes after the Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi alleged that the Lieutenant Governor had called a meeting for Jal Board and issued instructions despite of the fact that water being the responsibility of Delhi government. And all these allegations suggested that there is some kind of lack of coordination between the Chief Minister, between the Delhi government and the LG, and that is the reason why they held this kind of press conference to put up allegations against the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi. But in today's meeting, the kind of reaction which was being given by the Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal can be said as they are trying to make a kind of coordination between the government and the LG, as they are saying that every week there will be a meeting between the two to discuss upon the various issues of Delhi and to for the welfare of the people living in the national capital. And this will continue in a long run as well. But it is interesting to see whether this will become fruitful, and this will help both the government of Delhi as well as the central government to do good work in the national capital, or this will lead to some kind of rift between the two, as which we have witnessed in the previous days as well.
Right, Niyamika, thank you so much for joining me with all those details there. And let's stay with the national capital as we move on to our story number 5. And this one's a shocking incident of harassment of a woman that's come in from Delhi. Now, this one has been reported from a metro station, the Jorbagh metro station. And once again, this has raised questions on the safety of women in the national capital. So a young woman was allegedly sexually harassed at the Jorbagh metro station in Delhi on Thursday. The woman took to Twitter and shared her ordeal and also claimed that she did not get any help from the security personnel who were present at the station. Let me tell you that in a series of tweets, the woman shared the details of her journey and how a man at the platform approached her and flashed her. Meanwhile, the Delhi Metro has now issued a statement and said that they have taken the issue with concerned security agencies and have shared the CCTV footage with the Delhi police as well. DMRC reiterated that they have zero tolerance towards such incidents. On the other hand, the Delhi Commission for Women Chief Swati Mallewal has also taken cognizance and issued a notice to Delhi police in the matter and urged for strict action against the concerned man.
ये मामला हमारे नोटिस में देर रात को आया था। एक यंग लड़की हैं, उन्होंने ट्वीट किया था कि उनके साथ सेक्सुअल हैरेसमेंट हुआ है मेट्रो स्टेशन के ऊपर। जब ये हमारे संज्ञान में आया तो हमने इसको फॉरवर्ड किया कंसर्न एजेंसी, हमारे जो मेट्रो पुलिस हैं उनको। तो वहाँ के डीसीपी जब उनके नोटिस में आया तो उन्होंने 20 आवर्स में अपनी हमने इस कंप्लेनेंट को जिन्होंने ट्वीट किया था उनसे हमने ट्विटर के माध्यम से ही उनसे डिटेल्स लिए कि उनको हम कैसे कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं। तो शी रिप्लाइड, तो हमारे पास उनका कांटेक्ट नंबर आया। देयर आफ्टर हमारे जो मेट्रो के पुलिस अधिकारी हैं उन्होंने उनसे संपर्क किया और एज वाज कन्वीनियंट टू द कंप्लेनेंट उनके घर जाके उनकी 20 आवर्स में अर्ली मॉर्निंग में उनकी कंप्लेंट ली गई और उसके बाद सीसीटीवी वगैरह का फुटेज लिया गया और उसके ऊपर मुनासिब कार्यवाही की जा रही है।
All right, slipping into a very short break now and coming right back with more news and updates right here on Nation Tonight. Stay tuned.
Nine to 5 job, अरे 5 to 9 job, भाग दौड़ all